Hi, Linda Bauman here from StampingWithLinda.com, your cardiologist since 1997, helping you create cards from art. Today is a fun fold, and it's to show off Stampin' Up's new two-tone paper. This paper came out with our new scrapbooking line, and eventually we will have all the colors of Stampin' Up in the two-tone, but right now we just have a select few, and they come individually or in an assorted pack. This assorted pack was from the Autumn to Remember two-tone, and it's the Cajun Crates. Something about the two-tone paper is it's thinner. It's not as thin as Designer Series paper, but it's not as heavy as cardstock. Something else that's different about it, it's two-tone. So you have a light and a dark. It is not colored all the way through, so it has a white core. So my fun fold today is to show off that white core. So I have a piece of the two-tone paper. This measures 3 3/4 by 5 1/4, and we're going to bring in my ruler, and on one side we are going to mark it at the 1.5 inches, and on the other side at the 2.5 inches. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it at a diagonal. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer, going to line up my dots in my cutting line, and we're going to cut. Then we're going to move this piece over, and I think I'm going to move it over about 3/4 inch. Now these measurements can vary, doesn't have to be exact, but we're going to do 3/4. We're going to score this way, and then we're going to bring this piece in, and we're going to score along this line. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to rip the edges. So we're just going to take and rip towards us so that we can see that white core, using my fingernail as a guide. Just going to work that back and forth. So we've got an uneven look. I'm going to do the same to this one. Rip towards us. And then I am going to bring in my Changing Leaf Hybrid Embossing folder. Oops! Just had an avalanche. I need to clean off my stamp desk is what I need to do. I just keep pushing things aside and keep going, and that is a bad thing to do, but that's what I've been doing here lately. So we've got this like so. And this one like so. Like I said, we're going to bring in that hybrid folder, and what we're going to do, we're just going to emboss part of it, each one, and we're going to emboss it at a different angle so that we get different leaves showing through. So I'm going to go ahead and run that through my stamping cut and emboss machine. And now I'm going to bring that folder over. You'll see I've just went from that angle. Now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to put down here on this side. So I just have the different leaves. What I'm going to do, when you have the 3D embossing folder, it does break the fibers some, and you see that white core. But I'm going to bring in an old block that we used to have with Stampin' Up. It's got sandpaper. You don't need a sanding block. You can just use sandpaper. And I'm just going to rough the edges so that that white will show through. Once again, I'm going to caution you that don't scrub too hard, because the two-tone paper is thinner. So we've got that. Got 2 pieces of white. One of them measures 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. I'm going to take where I scored that lip, put that over. You're going to have a little peak. I'm just going to trim that off because we cut at an angle. Makes it a little bit uneven at the top, but it'll work fine. Add my adhesive. Put that piece at the top. Now we could also layer it so the bigger piece is at the top and the smaller at the bottom. Doesn't matter which way they go. But like I said, it's just a fun, easy fold to show off that two-tone paper. So now we're going to bring this down here and line that up. Going to bring in my Cajun Craze ink pad and a stamp from the So Sincere stamp set, and ink that up and put that at an angle. Next, what I'm going to do is I've got a piece of Cajun Craze, measures 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, and we're just going to put that piece right on top. Because this cardstock is darker, I am going to put a 1/4 sheet of the basic white in the inside so that it's easier to see your writing when you write your message. So we've got a 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to add that. Next, I have already taken and just cut out, let me see if I can find my die real quick here for you. The Changing Leaves dies is all one piece, but you can just take pieces of cardstock and cut out just smaller pieces of leaf, and that's what I did with my two-tone cardstock. I cut out a piece and then I put it in the folder, embossed it, and sanded it just like I did the background. And now we're going to add that leaf. See, I want to put some more adhesive here. I'm going to push that down. Maybe if I take my bulk folder and run it across, like so, would do better. And now we're going to add that leaf, I think right about there. I'm going to grab a couple dimensionals and add it to my leaf. Well, all fingers here, as always. My neighbors just left. Of course, now their dog may bark through my video, but we're going to continue on here. We're going to add that leaf right about there. Then I have taken my neutral tones linen thread and I have just kind of tied a little bow. We're going to add a glue dot to that, maybe a couple of them because there's several little layers to that. We're going to add that right there. And then we're going to bring in our neutrals adhesive back sequins. And I think I'm going to use the browner tones. I'm going to grab my pick tool and add those. Do I want just 2? No, I think I want 3. And there you have a fun fancy fold that's very simple to show off our two-tone paper. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. We'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.